Many of the images and content you're about to see are unsettling and very shocking. But the most shocking thing of all is that teens everywhere are watching these images and are calling it entertainment.
I did drive to my sister's and drop off a poem. She wants it for her second graders tomorrow.
Melanie,
and then,
are you on the internet?
isn't that for techno geeks with spreadsheets?
Hey, welcome to the Strange Tapes Strange Show. This is episode number 12, and today we have a very special guest. But before we dive in, I just wanted to share we just got home from a little bit of a road trip, 2 road trips actually, one out to Pennsylvania to the Mahoning Drive-In Theater for VHS Fest. And the second one was Dead Formats Retro Media Swap in Indianapolis. Both were amazing events. I want to thank the people that put those together. It was awesome to meet a bunch of people and talk tapes and get a bunch of new tapes. So we've got a lot of stuff lined up. I did want to share, I had this grandiose idea that I was going to document our time out there in these different events. I kind of dropped the ball on that, and I only ended up taking about 4 pictures. And I would like to just share with you some Strange Tapes on the Road pictures. First up, this was at a truck stop somewhere in Indiana. This is the men's room sign. It's just a guy being a guy. Second up, this was in a truck stop somewhere in Ohio. This was in the parking lot. There was 2 meatballs. Next up, this was at a antique mall in Ohio. This was a tiny little coffin.
Check it out! Check it out! Check it out!
And today I'm joined with a very special guest, Mr. Toby Radloff.
Yeah, Toby Radloff, the genuine nerd of Cleveland, Ohio.
Toby, welcome to the show. You're a legend to us. We interviewed you in Strange Tapes issue number 7, a little short interview, and we're really grateful for that. So we're very excited to actually get to meet with you one-on-one here.
Yeah.
It's kind of become a custom to watch a little commercial before we get things rolling. So this is the first clip.
Begin retrofire sequence. 3, 2, 1, mark. Malfunction! We're out of control!
I know what I like. Taste so unique. White Castle. Taste is the meaning of White Castle. Without White Castle, every hamburger tastes the same.
1980.
1980.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was 42 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, it was like when video games were first started and people were bringing White Castle into the arcade. I mean, I never saw the commercial before because in 1980, White Castle wasn't even in Cleveland yet, but that's an interesting commercial.
Speaking of Cleveland, they don't have White Castles there anymore?
They don't have them anymore. They came here in 87. Or
Okay.
actually 87, yeah, because I did that one MTV spot.
After eating different types of burgers, this has got to be the climax.
I loved White Castle because I remember driving to Columbus and Detroit to have them. I was introduced to them on a road trip to Cincinnati, and once I tried it, I loved it.
You said that it's kind of an essential part of the nerd,
Yes, say no to
pyramid.
drugs, say yes to White Castle.
For people that don't know, Toby is probably best known for American Splendor, for being in Harvey P. Carr's famous comic book, American Splendor.
Yes.
And that led to you having an appearance in it was like a documentary / biopic about Harvey P. Carr called American Splendor as well, right?
Yes, played myself in a few scenes, and Judah Friedlander played me in scenes that were set in the 1980s.
As a further introduction to the world of Toby Radloff, I have another clip lined up.
What me worry? Alfred E. Newman is definitely a nerd. White Castle hamburgers have a unique taste all their own. Believe me, with the duct tape, it is an impressive piece of automotive art.
He's got a different take on things. I'm not exactly sure
where where that comes from, but sometimes he'll bring you right up short with some of the stuff he says.
Unlike so many people, unfortunately, Toby's an original, He's an original guy, and he does his own thing. And that's the way everybody should be.
This is actually a pump bottle of a cat. You push down on it. Push down on it, it meows. Probably the only Jim Neighbors album where he doesn't sing like somebody who's crying. I'm cranking up the old Victrola. Nerd!
What was it like to have having someone follow you around and make a documentary about you?
I felt good about it because I already had American Splendor and Killer Nerd, Bride of Killer Nerd, Townies, and a few MTV spots under my belt.
I want to talk a little bit more about Killer Nerd here in a second, but this is basically the final clip. I got this one recently from our friends Nick and Joe from the Found Footage Festival out at Mahoning Drive-In Theater in Pennsylvania just a couple weeks ago. It's called Worm Mania.
Worm Mania.
And I found it to be a pretty entertaining video, and I thought I would share it with you. And I wanted to see if you think anyone in this video might be considered a nerd.
Yeah, go and play it.
What's the big deal about worms?
Tell him, worm woman.
I'm Mary Applehoff, the worm woman from Kalamazoo, and I speak for the worms.
So what are we talking about?
Worms.
We're talking about worms.
I have a surprise for you. I'll meet you in the kitchen.
This is a worm observation chamber that I built in Kalamazoo with 1 inch of rocks, 4 inches of subsoil, 4 inches of topsoil, 3 inches of compost and leaves.
Worms are valuable because they poop a lot?
When the anus lets it out.
That's just one of the reasons they're valuable. If it weren't for worms, we'd have compaction. Your finger represents the worm, and this ring represents the cocoon. As the cocoon slides down the body, it passes over the ovaries and sperm sacs where it picks up eggs and the sperm needed for fertilization.
Worms!
Now, as the worms are joined by the mucus, they exchange sperm, which are stored in a tiny sac in their bodies.
It's mating time, I said worms, exchanging sperm.
Gotta go find the world's longest worm. Bye now. Have fun with your new worm,
See you
Ben.
later. Thanks.
Bye, thanks.
Almost everyone in there was a nerd then, right?
Pretty much, especially the lady.
Worm woman?
Worms!
We're talking about
Worm woman, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think just being so hyper-focused on worms is kind of a nerd trait?
Yeah, it's sort of like a nerd trait. I think they marketed it as sort of like an educational film about worms, but it is a pretty interesting watch.
And then the kid, classic nerd.
What's the big deal about worms?
Classic nerd, glasses, crew-cut hair.
Did you notice that kid had a long braided rat tail?
I didn't pay any attention.
He had a rat tail that was about 2 feet long coming off of his crew cut. I can pull it up for you if you want to see real quick.
Okay, go ahead and pull it up.
1 second. You see that right there?
I can watch it again. It's no problem. Oh, yeah, there. Oh, now I see it. Yeah. I thought at first it was like a cord attached to an amplifier or something, but that's a rat tail.
So back to Killer Nerd.
Nerd.
It's very exciting. Killer Nerd is going to be coming out on Blu-ray.
Tempe has gotten the rights to all of my Raynell and Harold films, and they're going to end up on Blu-ray discs. So if you have like a Blu-ray player, you'll see me in say, Ultra HD, if you know what I mean.
Just to be clear, that's Tempe Video.
TMP Video, and the company's based out of Akron, Ohio.
Speaking of Wayne, I think I saw on Facebook that you and Wayne are going to be doing a podcast in the fall.
Yeah, we will be doing a podcast, and we will be at Cinema Wasteland in October. This is at the Strongsville, Ohio Best Western Hotel.
Toby, you're kind of a role model and inspiration to nerds everywhere. And you're a nerd legend. We love you from American Splendor, Killer Nerd. Do you have any parting words of hope and wisdom to maybe someone who feels a little like an outsider, an outcast, who's might be a nerd and they don't feel good about themselves? You have a little
All I
message?
could say is this is what I've always said. I'm a nerd. I'm proud to be a nerd. That's how I am, a nerd, a genuine nerd. But don't be ashamed of yourself. You should be proud of yourself. Make lemons out of lemonade. Be proud. Be a nerd.
And thank you so much for joining us, Toby. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
And until next time, keep it strange.
Okay, keep me in touch. Thanks.
White Castle.
White Castle.
White Castle.
White Castle. White Castle. White Castle hamburgers. 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 Hamburgers are a safer addiction than drugs.
James, just wait until you go to sleep tonight. You're gonna wake up without a million worms in your bed.
Nerd. Nerd. Nerd.
Nerd.
Nerd. Nerd.
Be proud. Be a nerd.